Hello. Hello, everybody. How's it going? I'm reading The Ember Worlds by, who's that? Someone gorgeous. That's all. VC Stellar. I just got it today, so I only just read the prologue and part of the first chapter. But so far, so good. It starts off strong, and that's a very key thing. So, how is everyone doing? Can people hear me, see me? I'll give the chat a second to let me know if there's anything ridiculous going on. Yeah, no, she did. Violet wrote a book, and so it is available on Amazon. And hey. Oh, I startled you. I do that. You hear echo. Ah, crap. Let me try this. Did that fix it? Did that fix the echo? I'm just doing a testing, 1, 2, 3. Is that good? If it's not, let me know. If I have to, I can go run and get my headphones. And by the way, hello to everybody in the chat. Hello to Larry and Garrett and Moomoof. Oh, okay. They shouldn't be talking now. You think you have the stream open on another window? No, it's muted. I do have it open, but it's muted. Are you still hearing it, Moomoof? Or is it that you just want to hear me say Moomoof? Shoot. Let me. Do you hear them now? Because I am muted. And nobody else but me is talking in the house. All right, so we're good. Okay. So might have just been one of those. Oh, you can hear. Oh, fuck. All right. I'm gonna run upstairs. I'm gonna get my headphones and see if that fixes it. Hang on. It will be just a sec. All right, so let me say a couple more things and you guys can tell me if there's still an echo. I've got this on. Is everything working out? It's quieter, but you can still hear it. I don't get it. Let me look at my settings. It is super weird because there's... I can try just putting it to the audio on the webcam, I guess. It's not going to be the very best quality. Let's try that. All right, so now I will say, I don't know, a few words. Hello, how's everybody doing? Test, 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 test. I love that we're doing this. This is awesome. I do have a mic and a box, so I could try talking closer to it. It sounds good now, so I put it on the webcam, and that's gonna have to be good. So I don't know why the other thing wasn't working. Yeah. All right, cool. So how's everybody doing? I was doing a really good... Hello, everybody. In case you didn't see, this awesome book, The Ember Worlds by V.C. Stellar, is available on Amazon by friend of the channel and all around awesome person, Gwen No Fear. All right, everybody, you're doing fine after the midterms. That's good. Oh, thank you. So I'm thinking about making this a weekly thing, or at least trying to. You know me, I'm terrible. I'm like just a mess all the time. But it would be cool if this would be a weekly thing and we could just hang out and I could just like talk one-on-one with people in the chat and stuff. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Because there's always so much stuff to talk about and I never get through the things that I want to do. Like this week, the whole week, my 4-year-old was home sick, being sick. Like I didn't have time to do anything, really. Like I was just useless for the week. Just like you'd sit down and you'd start to type away on something and then you'd hear mom and then you'd have to go run. Like, so you can't think about anything. You can't do anything that takes more than like Twitter time. They are. Yeah. Yeah. My baby's all right. He's good. He's upstairs. I made him soup today. Chicken vegetable soup, and he's in bed with like the humidifier on and get all that gunk out. It's just like kids. They just pick up everything. And it's a little gross, but that's, you know, because they're just like, oh my God, my face. What is my face doing? Why is this happening? Like, it's leaking. My face is leaking and I don't get it, you know? But, yeah, no, he's doing all right.
I'm sure you were really looking forward to hearing about my son's cold, so I'm glad you're here to share that with me. Let's see. So actually, there were a couple of real things that I wanted to talk about today, and Quillette, which is absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. Everybody should know not only is it garbage, but it's garbage with a really strong eugenics vibe that sort of goes under the radar all the time. Like there are either people that they're publishing, they're platforming that have an interest in eugenics, but that's not necessarily what they'll be talking about in Quillette. But then you'll look them up and you'll be like, oh, hey, this guy that says he doesn't like the way things are going in colleges also has 3 articles on race and IQ and defending eugenics. Like, that's weird. That's not good. Like, it's all sort of hidden power kind of crap, but it's very there. So I think that people should be aware of that. Like, you know, and I can put the whatever evidence I've got in there. But again, a lot of this is based on, I wouldn't even call it plausible deniability. It's more like implausible deniability at a certain point. Like, how many eugenicists can there be in academia that you just happen to keep platforming them, right? Like, there can't be that many. Maybe I'm wrong, that you would just like, oh my goodness, really? This one too? That's weird. How odd. But because they never say, yes, we are in favor of eugenics, and you should know that, and we say that in public, then you're not allowed to really even throw that in there, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. It's weird. But that's sort of the thing that bothers me the most about Quillette, is that hidden power thing that I think allows sort of people like Steven Pinker, or as we'll be talking, hello everybody, and other members of sort of the intellectual dark web to sort of, yeah, we're in favor of these people just because, you know, not because of that, just we love free speech. You know how that is. We just love it. There's no free speech here. We just, only in Quillette. They're awesome. But they print garbage. They print garbage. Oh, it's awful. I don't even want to put it in because, like, I don't even want to give them hits, right? But there isn't much you can do, right? At a certain point, you have to. Michael Shermer, who's the editor of Skeptic magazine, and appears regularly in Scientific American, if he's like putting something out in this garbage, what is it? What do you call an online journal? Is that what you just call it, an online journal? Then you have to sort of be like, all right, well, we've got to deal with this. We've got to deal with the crap that they're putting out. Very, very, very bad writers and very bad articles. It's a magazine, not a journal. Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, Skeptic magazine. It's garbage. It's all it's freaking garbage. So yes. So let's see. Yeah, Quillette, that was started by rebel media journalist Claire Lehman, who I met. I met her at MythCon. And she's a little odd. Gonna say that right out. Because I kind of like intentionally went straight up to her because she has me blocked on Twitter. She does not care for me, which is fine. But I was like, I'm gonna go up there and see what she has to say. So I went right up, and she was at the bar, and I was like, "Hi, Claire, let's talk." And she's like, "Oh, you did good." Okay. Like, she wasn't like looking at me in the eyes. She didn't want to shake my hand. She was being very like protective. But she said, "Oh, you did good." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm glad you thought so." Um, and then she just like took off. Like, she did not want to be in my presence at all. Why am I wearing sunglasses? I'm wearing sunglasses as at least an attempt to be somewhat anonymous, hopefully. We'll all cross our fingers. I'm out there now, and it felt dishonest not to be out on my own channel if I'm going to go to MythCon and be there, showing my face in that situation. So that's all. I mean, but I am hoping not to be completely doxxed and not to have my kids doxxed and all of that. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Are we talking about Claire, slightly eccentric, or full-blown Howard Hughes? Well, I don't think full-blown Howard Hughes would have made it into a bar, right? So, yeah, got the Clark Kent approach to anonymity. It's fooling everyone. No one can tell. Because, once the glasses are off, no one can know it's me. So, anyway, we should probably get going and talk about Michael Shermer, who, as far as I'm concerned, is a rapist. Other people can say, well, he's only alleged to be a rapist. And I also don't want to get sued. So I understand that. He's never been judged in a court. However, he's been credibly accused. There are witnesses. There's a lot of paper trail about sexual harassment, unwanted touching. Sorry, that's a way to start a profile. Yeah, I don't care. I don't feel like I owe somebody who has done things like that even the slightest bit of respect or consideration. He's far bigger, and his reach is far bigger than mine. So, fuck it. Yeah, all right. That is, in my opinion, that's what he is, and that's that. And if other people have other opinions, I'm not going to say anything about that because that's fine. It's not going to go to court, so what are you going to do? So what I do want to do right now, though, is find the article itself, and we can start with the article. And then we're going to just sort of move on from there. And of course, once I'm sharing the screen, I'm going to be divorced from the chat a little bit. So, all right. And get ready for the Inception. Whee! Okay. Now, first off, can everybody see it? I will try to find you again. Let's make it illegal for white people to have opinions on MLK. I'm for it. Like, yeah. All right. So, Another Dream Deferred by Michael Shermer. And here we have a picture of Martin Luther King. And also, you know, this is referencing a poem by another Black author, Langston Hughes. So he sort of combined them. Interestingly, like I am really used to the idea of white people whitewashing who Martin Luther King was and whitewashing a lot of his stances and, you know, throwing out that one, and it's right there, that one quote from the one speech that they know about. And I'm like, all right, fine. And not talking about the socialism or the workers' rights or the unions or any of that other stuff. Like, you kind of just get that. You kind of expect that at a certain point because that's just the game, you know? Fine, whatever. But it amazed me how immediately, like, he has the quote, and then he describes Martin Luther King delivered what in the fullness of time would have become his most memorable vision from his 1963 magisterial I Have a Dream speech. He could not have known how much progress in civil rights would ensue over the coming half century, in no small measure because of his work. And that's it. Like, we're barely going to talk about or mention King for the rest of this article that goes on and on. You know, and I'm gonna like talk about his basic argument is that we're doing so great. Everybody should be like so happy that we did everything that King said we should do, and that's awesome now. I mean, there's a little bit here and there. We could do a little better. We could tweak it, but mostly it's awesome. And we should all just be like, yay, it's awesome now. But, you know, then came along identity politics and intersectionality theory. And then he's going to go on and on and on and on about that. He's going to talk about Lincoln for a minute, and then that's it. It's done. Like, there's one other brief quote of, like, not even a full sentence from the many elements of Dr. King's dream included his faith that one day we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. But of course, this has been interrupted on social media and talk radio and television in particular, the jangling discords of identity politics are said to be pulling us into another civil war. Horrible. So, okay. Like, so when I read it, I was going, you know, it's really odd how very little about Dr. King there is here. And it's very odd. I'll go through all of it, but like, he doesn't even go and talk about places you could go to find out more about what King wrote, or a link or to his speech or anything. It's sort of like, no, we're just cherry picking these couple of quotes we got. We got like 2-3 quotes here from the same speech, from the same part of the same speech. And that's it. That's our whole thing. So I do want to take you through, and let's see, I think I left it up here, as to he puts like 10 different books up that we could read to find out more about what Stephen King. Oh my God. I'm going to take another sip for that. What Stephen or Martin Luther King, either one of the, I'm sorry. It has been a long week. Like I said, my kid was sick all week. I don't know what I'm doing. But this did piss me off because I do actually care. I care that Martin Luther King was not a saint. He was not perfect. He should be not lionized. However, he did die for his beliefs. And I find that extraordinary and not something that should be taken lightly and not something that people should just go in and whitewash what he actually thought, what he actually said. So as you can see, there's a whole bunch of book recommendations here. So let's see who we should go look for to see what King would think about everything today. Well, here's Hans Rosling in his book called Factfulness. A lot of these are National Review articles, so, you know, gorgeous. Now we have Yuval Noah Harari with his book, 21 Lessons for the 21st Century. I'm sure you've got that. There are two books from Steven Pinker, Enlightenment Now and The Better Angels of Our Nature. You know, noted guy who knows all about race and history. He's an expert on those things, or not, whichever. Steven Pinker. There's Greg Easterbrook. I'm sure you have him. It's Better Than It Looks, Reasons for Optimism in an Age of Fear. Johann Norberg, right there, good-looking guy. Progress. He suggested his own book, The Moral Arc, because you would. Like, who wouldn't do that? Ooh. There were a couple more. Where is that? Where did I put the other guys? Oh, here we go. We have Matt Ridley, the Rational Optimist. Jonah Goldberg, Suicide of the West. That sounds totally like a book that Martin Luther King would have loved a lot. Oh, and Heather McDonald, The Diversity Delusion. And then we have Greg Lukianoff and Jonathan Haidt, The Coddling of the American Mind. So, yeah, now we know all of the people we should be asking about what Martin Luther King would have thought about politics today. And I see nothing wrong with asking a bunch of anti-diversity capitalist white people what's up, you know, like there's no reason that wouldn't be awesome, right? And that's not the only that so now we have something by Martin Luther King that really doesn't mention Martin Luther King very much, right? Oh God, I just put up Dungeons and Dragons. I was watching the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon earlier. I'm sorry. My apologies. I didn't mean to put that one up. Let's see. Okay. And now I've lost everything. Bringing it back in, Christina. Bring it back in. Okay. All right, I got it. So Here's another fascinating thing that I thought was weird. Now, I say again, this is an educated person, right? So now we have, as philosopher Catherine Polly Morgan explained on intersectionality, they changed this. It was originally Michel Foucault. So, oops, just like going to attribute to a quote about intersectionality to somebody who had been dead for several years when that theory was coined. Like, but can you see the? Oh, hey. And now they've got Langston Hughes. It's possible I was wrong, but I honestly do not believe this was in the original one. When I first read it, because I did read it through. All right, so maybe they put, maybe I'm wrong about Langston Hughes, right? It's possible that I'm wrong about Langston Hughes. However, when I look at all this, when I look at not mentioning very much about King in or his ideas in an article that's supposed to be all about what he would think about today, when I see 10 different white authors that have nothing to do with King, when I see a quote misattributed to somebody, indeed, he made it sound like Foucault was sort of the originator or somebody who would be the person to explain, as opposed to Kimberly Crenshaw, a Black woman. You start to like, this is not a long article for all of this. Like, that's a lot of I'm gonna put it back on so I can see the chat. It really feels like, you know, they say that the victors, to the victors go the ability to write the history, and this feels almost like a flex. You know what I mean? And just being like, yeah, like I'm gonna write this history. This is what's going in it, and it feels like a total erasure. So, and it's very frustrating. It's frustrating that this would come from somebody who at least pretends. Yeah, I don't like the saying that history is written by the victors, but I do feel like, not that it's true necessarily, but I think it's something that the victors would definitely like you to believe. You know what I mean? And I feel like they would put it out there. I think they would certainly try. I don't think that they can always do that. I don't think that they are as good at doing that as they think they are. But it's a pain in the butt, really. I I hate it. I hate that people are doing this to King. It's not history. It is myth making. You're right. And it's not good and it's not right. And that's what I'm here for. Like, to say, this isn't what Martin Luther King stood for. So even if you went, and I will remember, I swear I will remember to link Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech into the description. If you read it through, and I've read it through a couple of times. It says before he ever gets to this sort of, I have a dream that this will happen. I have a dream that people will sit down together. I have a dream about, you know, sort of a distant time when nobody will even appreciate that these terrible things had happened. You know, he made it very clear that before that could happen, there would have to be, and like he specifies things like the horrors of police brutality, of Black men having to suffer through that, of the poverty, of the just overall lack of access to the American dream. And these are things that are still going on today with I don't see how you could possibly say that they're not going on today. I think that's a ridiculous, just blind, when so many people of color are imprisoned, far outside of what would make any sense in any reasonable modern country. Like, we just imprison the shit out of people. We have people going to jail for voting, because they didn't realize they weren't supposed to, because they had broken some rule or something. Like, you're going to put a Black woman in jail for years for that. That's ridiculous. When we're talking about Black women dying in childbirth and infant mortality and all these other issues of access and of, I mean, I don't understand the argument that we're not still having problems. I think we're having terrible problems, and I think it's obvious from the numbers, from every sort of data set that you can come up with, that it's fucking bad. Like, we should be deeply fucking ashamed. And, you know, obviously that's not the country we live in, the country that has proper shame for that. But I do think if people are going to go out there and flex on this shit, I'm going to call it out, right? I totally agree with you, Chad, that Martin Luther King's letter from a Birmingham jail should be taught in school. Absolutely. If you look up, if you look up what they teach about Martin Luther King, when they teach it, it's bad. It's not really. It's terrible. Like, I went to school in Massachusetts, so it was better. But if you're going to go to a school like a school in Texas, and the problem with Texas is so big, right? And they have very specific laws about what they do and do not want put in their textbooks. Well, now, a textbook manufacturer is not going to just make Texas textbooks. So they're going to make textbooks that are legal in Texas, and then everybody else has to sort of deal with them, you know, and work with that, even if they're not from Texas, because they're not just going to be like, that doesn't make any sense for them to be like the Texas textbooks and then everybody else's textbooks. Like, it just doesn't. So there is sort of, there do tend to be like a California and Massachusetts and places like that will get a slightly better textbook. But a lot of the southern states will be dealing with crap, like just crap. It's something between whitewashing, which was deliberate, like at the time of his death, Martin Luther King had something like a 60% disapproval rating. And it never got like Trump has better approval ratings than Martin Luther King did during his entire life. And yeah, I mean, he was more radical and than we appreciate today. He was a socialist. He was for unions. He was against the Vietnam War, and he stood up for that. And those are all things that we don't really think about because we just think, well, he was nonviolent. He had a dream. He did that one march that time and that one speech that time. And, you know, that was about it, right? Like those are the main points anyway. Like, and again, that is hardly to say that he was an angel and perfect and that we should all just like consider him the #1 guy ever or something like that. It's not that. It's about putting actual historical figures and their beliefs and their ideas in context. And I happen to believe that's important. All right. So I think I've made my case about that, and I think I've said what I need to say about that. So do people Coretta Scott King was a legend, yes. Yeah. Martin Luther King would not have hated identity politics, but according to a bunch of white dudes, he would have. So, and you know, a good number of them aren't even from the United States, and you know, seem to be Swedish or something. But that's, yeah, I'm sure they're the ones to ask, or Nordic. Can we ban white dudes from talking about black activists? I would really like that. I would really. I'm sorry for white dudes that are not complete assholes, but you're so outnumbered. In fact, white women are outnumbered, just not by quite as much. But yes. All right. So we've covered that. And there's a couple of other things that we could also cover if people are in the mood to be, and you know, be annoyed by me, I guess, talking randomly about stuff. And we could talk about Count Dankula and some of the interesting things that he has been engaging in on Twitter. Or we could talk about Boogie and his recent complete fucking mess of a tweet thing. So, oh no, colorblindness. King advocated for affirmative action. He was open to the concept of reparations, thought it was probably a good idea. So I will please talk about both those things. Both. All right, I'll start with Boogie and we'll see where we go. Let me see. I know I have it. Give me a second. Yes, Boogie 2988, or that might be off by 1500 or something. I don't know. But that's what he's called. He's a gaming YouTuber, and he's again another person who has a very large reach. Not me. All right, you know what? I'll just open it in MS Paint. But I haven't touched it or done anything with it. This is the stupid that you're going to see is all him. So hopefully you will just trust that. Okay, get ready. And all right, so Boogie 2988 puts out, could you imagine an America filled with all kinds of different people with all kinds of different skin colors and sexual preferences and income levels, and get this, differing political opinions, and us just getting along? Who could imagine that? Oh yeah, these guys. And he's put here, I don't know if you could see it. My God, this is so bad. It's the people who signed the Declaration of Independence. You can tell because of the big John Hancock. I keep pointing at the screen like you can see me point, and you can't, and I don't know why. I keep doing that because I know you can't, but okay, let's just. So, goddamned centrist assholes trying to create a country where we coexisted not only peacefully, but prosperously. Idiots. I don't even know where to start. This is so terrible. Like, there's so many bad things that are wrong with this that I don't know where to, like, how? He thinks that people of different skin colors and sexual preferences and income levels, even that, he thinks those people were getting along in the days when I don't know how many of these people owned slaves, but it was a significant proportion. Like, one would be a significant proportion. There's more than one for sure. Like, are you kidding me? Just like, and does he think what disco wonderland does he think that these people were living in? Sexual preferences? Oh my God, yeah. They were so open to LGBTQ. It was insane. And they loved people of all income levels. It wasn't like they wouldn't let anybody vote unless they were landowning white men. Like, so before we even get to the part about the different political opinions, which is also fucking wrong, it's just completely wrong. There are people on this list of signatures here who would end up dying in duels over their political and other kinds of opinions. So it's not like, oh yeah, they were getting along awesome. But even within that, in the early colony, these are people signing a declaration of war. Like, that's a centrist that he's talking about. That's what that was. This was we're seceding and we're going to start a war with you, Britain. Like, this is what he thought the peaceful centrists were doing? I'm sorry. See, this is why I do not I script everything out because if you could see me when I'm writing my scripts, this is what I do. I sit there like, are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck? And then I go, no, no, take it down, take it down. Take a breath. We're going to discuss this rationally. Like, okay, it's okay. Because people need to know that this homeschool from hell nonsense bullshit, whatever the fuck it is wrong. And you're going to calmly explain that to people. And they're going to be able to hear that then. But when I'm just talking about it, it's not pretty. It's this. So yes, they did not imagine or attempt to create a country about coexistence in peace with everybody. These were not hippies. These were not flower power. I don't know what he thinks they were. I really don't. But whatever it is that he's under the impression that the founding fathers were about is completely wrong. But yeah, I was about to say that in this time in the colonies, you know, the colonies were split up into sort of three factions. So there were the people who wanted to stay with England. There were the people who wanted to have a bloody, horrible revolution, these guys. And then there were sort of people in between who didn't want to take sides. And they did not get along. Like, there was death involved in them not getting along. It was not... it was not a thing. So, gotta take it off. Get back to the chat now, I guess. Hang on. So that was sort of my rant about that. And I do feel a little better. So thank you. At least we've got that going on. I feel better. I don't know. Yeah, it's not... That was a bad take. A very, very bad take. Yes, we killed a lot of loyalists. A lot of loyalists left. Jenga Tree. The founding fathers were queer icons on the same caliber as Judy Garland. No doubt. You know. Oh, God. So, no. Like, in 2 tweets, to manage to get everything wrong is just sort of amazing in its own way. It's like, I don't know. And this again is sort of my problem. Like, you get to a point where, are you fucking with me? Dude, are you just fucking with me? Is this intentional? Like, what are you doing? Like, can you really be this stupid? Are there people this stupid? And I don't, you know, I hate to even use the words stupid because I know it has ableist connotations, but so thanks. How's everybody else doing? How's everybody in the chat? Are we anybody have good things going on? Where is... I would show you my puppy. I thought she might be. A lot of times my puppy is... Oh, she is. Oh, my goodness. She's right there. Hey, come here. Harmony. This is my new puppy. I got her. And hello. This is her. This is Harmony. She's so cute. Yeah. Look at these ears. Aren't they adorable? She's the best ears. They're huge. They're like the fox ears. And she's one like straight one and one floppy puppy ear. And she's so shy and she's a big scaredy dog. Diodore. Huh. How's it going? You want to talk to the people? No, I don't. I didn't think so. Mwah. Mwah. She's a very, very good dog. She's a rescue. She came up from Texas, where they taught her terrible things about Martin Luther King. I've had to really re-educate her. That's okay. I'm kidding. And she's scared of everything. She's scared of cars and trucks and noises, but she's really doing well here. She just sort of hangs out with me all day long. And we go on long walks. We have some trails near our house. So I should show you. Ah, yeah. No. Here, hang on a second, honey. I'm working on. She did not, she's about 6 months. Somehow her leg got broken. I don't know. Oh, she wants to get back down. I'll let her. Okay? Okay. So she was not impressed with the cold when she got here from Texas. So I'm crocheting her a little doggy sweater. I think that she'll look adorable when it's done. Anyway, so is she a communist? Well, you know, I think that she has those leanings. But I don't know if she's still a little worried about who will make her biscuits for her. So, like, I just have to convince her that putting the power in the hands of the workers will not affect doggy biscuit quality. Like that's her only hang up for there. So yeah. So that was a good little right in there. Anarchist and a Marxist. That's right. Am I getting lipstick on my teeth yet? I hate when that happens. I feel like it is. I'm a little weird about that. Hey, person in the background. What, me? I don't know. So, all right. I suppose we can go through. Oh yeah, cats. All cats are anarchists. All of them. But I wouldn't say that they're necessarily communist because they're like, fuck you. So it's hard to tell. Someone wearing a Cape Cod t-shirt and carrying booze. Oh, crap. Pretend you didn't see that person. I'll tell them not to do that again. Okay. That person didn't exist. It was a figment of your imagination. Don't talk about him. Anyway, yeah, because just in case you saw his face. That's all. I'll try to blur that out later. Yeah, I was going to talk about Count Dankula. He is... It is really hard to talk about... there were no toddlers, Larry. I have an older son, a much older son, who is of age where he can have booze if he wants to and walk around and wear Cape Cod t-shirts if he wants to. But no, the children are all away in bed, which is why mommy can sit here and talk and have some wine and complain about Count Dankula and swear. Well, he's not going to be drunk. Like, you know, it's just, he's just hanging around the house. Yes, Count Dankula is there's almost no way to talk about him without it lapsing into ableism, because he is not a smart man. He did get into a beef with Sean on Twitter. Now, I don't have this ready to go because I didn't know if we'd really get into it. But Sean had said, Stephen Colbert, this is all going to be long and drawn out. Okay. So Tucker Carlson had stated that people came to his house and were like breaking his door down and threatening his children. And most of that turned out not to be true. Like, he had some people outside his house and they were protesting, but no doors were broken, no threats were made to any children. It wasn't anything like that, but it was just a protest outside of his house. Now, at some point, Stephen Colbert had made some sort of tweet about, like, I don't care what you think about Tucker Carlson, but, you know, this is terrible and we shouldn't do this and this is so wrong and people's children, and blah, 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 blah. And Sean had put a tweet under that was sort of like, how about shut up? You know? And that was it. Like, it wasn't like some sort of really extreme thing that Sean said, but Count Dankula decided to get on his ass. Like, you are saying that you think that people should be cool with violence and harassing people's families. And he's like, yeah, no, I didn't say that. Like, I just said, shut up, you know? And he said, if I had been there, I would have told them not to bother. Tucker Carlson wasn't even home and there was no reason, like, there wasn't a point there. And it wasn't like a good thing to do, but whatever, I wasn't there. And when people are, you know, killing people en masse in the United States and sending pipe bombs and all this other stuff, like, that's the last thing that I need. I'm paraphrasing here, obviously. So I'm sure it's all still up on Twitter. And at the same time that he was saying things like this, Dankula is going off. He eventually apologized because he came out as almost like, yeah, come around here and say stuff like that. We'll see what happens if you come to my neck of the woods and say these. And Sean was like, yeah, okay, whatever. Eventually, Dankula walked that back. And then I decided to get involved because, I don't know, I was there. I don't know. It's Twitter. Fuck it. Because I happen... Do I have Twitter up? Let's see. Apparently... Give me just a second to find it. Okay. And I will screen share for this last time. Okay, let's go. All right, so Count Dankula, his wife was home. This is to Sean. He has kids. They were telling them to get out of town because they disagree with their politics. And you think that's okay to do someone in their own home over their politics. Noted Sean. Guess you can't complain when it happens to you. I'm not going to try to do a Scottish accent. So you'll just have to hear that in your head. Every accent I try to do goes badly and starts to sound like Dracula. So I'm not doing that. I'm not going to subject that to you. You're welcome. So I decided to throw in, Dank, you said yourself while laughing that you had engaged in political violence. Remember, you said a dude came up to your little crew with this political sign y'all didn't like, and a lot of you attacked him and beat him up. I know you think it doesn't count when you do it, but for the love of pugs and buttercups, can you get off the damn high horse here? I doubt Sean ever beat up a guy for having a sign he didn't like with his buddies, so now he wins. So someone asked me for context, and let's see if this works. Oh. All right, so I'm going to pause that for a second. Can you hear it, chat? No, okay. Damn. Let's see. Have an idea. This might play YouTube through screen share. I know it really doesn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out, and hopefully it will not create a lot of echo, but I'm going to try it. You'll have to tell me if it works or not. And where are we? Twitter. Try this again. Nope, that's not going to do it. That can't do it. All right. Did that at all work? If it worked, I'll do it again, but I wasn't hearing it, so I can't imagine that you guys were. No. Okay. So I actually quoted it underneath it because I'm that kind of person. And again, there will be no Scottish accent. You will just have to go, and I'll link it. So I have to start making a list now of things I'm going to link. So he's talking about what have the SMP ever done for us? And he's talking about after the vote for Scottish independence came out. He says, there was fighting everywhere, cops in riot gear. There was blood in the streets. It was brilliant. The night finally came to a close when some random guy came up to us waving a Union Jack in our faces, screaming, "We won! We won, guys! We kicked the fucking shit out of him." So that is a direct quote from what he said in the context of talking about the riot that happened after that. So that was me saying, you're full of crap. And at some point, let's see if I can find where his response to me was. Because he did, it was here, wasn't it? All right. So he then says, that was a joke story I made up. Why would I confess to an actual crime in a YouTube video? This is a man who's actually committed a crime in YouTube videos. So I didn't know what to say. But it makes no sense that that would be a joke story that he would just make up out of nowhere. It doesn't, like, nobody in his comment section thought he was telling some sort of joke. It's not a thing that you would tell as a joke. It doesn't make sense. So I was rude to him. I was like, yeah, I think the reason you did it is because you're an idiot. Like, it's not I don't mean anything personal. You can't help that. So he says, you're dumb too. Okay. And then that conversation did not get any better. So there's no point in rehashing it. It was just like, screw you, no screw you, screw you, no screw you. So, okay. I will take it off screen share again so I can say hello to everyone in the chat. Hello, everyone in the chat. Did you miss me? I missed you. And let me actually find the chat. So that was some of the bullshit that has gone on over the week. Larry Yelling Man, who are you? Who's who? Who is Count Dankula? Who's Count Dankula? Count Dankula is a man who taught a pug how to do a Nazi salute and has made a ton of money off of that. And he's not a smart man. Bless his heart. You know, we don't always pick the mental equipment we start with. But yes, he loves to talk about how Antifa is a terrorist organization and should be outlawed, and they're against freedom of speech because they engage in this terrible violence. And then he also likes to talk about the violence that he does politically, but apparently that's a joke. Anyone gets that reference? I don't get your reference, Larry. I'm sorry. But I'm sure it's a good one, and once you tell me what it is, I'll be like, oh, is he basically another Sargon? He is very like Sargon. He and Sargon are friends. They have both gone to UKIP together. In a weird way, he's both a little better and a little worse than Carl. Like, he's better in that I think that he would like to do the right thing sometimes. Like, sometimes when things are pointed out to him that he's being an idiot, he goes, oh. Whereas Carl would just not care. Am I the leader of Antifa? Yes. Yeah. That just, you know, they decided to just screw this, like, not having a leader bullshit. And oh, that's another thing that was on Twitter that's funny. You're bringing up funny Twitter things, but yeah, like, There was a black woman that had trolled a bunch of Republicans by like claiming she was super Republican and asking them for money, claiming that her mother had kicked her out and she couldn't go to school because, you know, she was black and yet a Republican and loved Trump. So they gave her a ton of money. Like there were a lot of money. And then she said, "Screw you guys. Of course I hate Trump. You guys are stupid and you're just so desperate to make people think you're not racist that you just dump money at anybody who's willing to, you know, go along with your biases." Like it was a significant troll, you know. Um, so that happened, and as a I'm going to go to Twitter again. And see. If I can pull it up because it was just so damn funny. Oh yeah, here we go. All right, screen share. This is the last time though, I swear to God. Nope, that didn't work, oddly. Okay, go ahead. There you go. All right. So you can see here, they're like, this is on 4chan, the place that the geniuses live. This is like, there's Mensa and there's 4chan. We all know that. It's cool. So, all right, lads, I've got an idea. After that black girl scammed Trump supporters out of $150,000, I've been wanting revenge. Here's the plan. We set up a fake Antifa Twitter page, make a bunch of fake accounts to follow and promote the shit out of it. Link a Patreon account in the bio. Wait for the libtards to come and follow and donate. What we do with the money, I don't know. Leave ideas, but it should be something to benefit right-wing ideology. And he made the Patreon and everything. So this is their Patreon. Hello, all. We are an anti-fascist militant group. Our aim is to protect our country and its people from fascist authoritarian rule. Minority groups in America have been badly mistreated by our government, and we aim to fight against that. This Patreon account, however, is owned by a group of 12 people that run the Twitter account Antifa Official. Not only do we help get our message out to the world on Twitter, we work closely with other Antifa groups and help organize Antifa protests. All members of this group turn up to protests regularly to hand out, to hand out signs that we make ourselves, and we help keep Antifa protests under control. Thank you for your time. Have a great day. Yeah, it didn't exactly work. It was, you know, and then I threw that in there because it was like, yeah, okay. Hello, fellow comrades. At least they were being funny for us. You know, I'm a little worried about that that poor young lady. I hope that she doesn't get doxxed because I don't like the way that they're talking about revenge. Like, I'm sorry you were stupid. And there it is. It is what it is. So, let's see, where are we again? Checked. The woman sent all the money back, did she? She should have kept it. What are they going to do with it? She would have done something better. She's probably trying not to get arrested, but still, you know, in a just world. But yeah, that was amusing. Hi, we're the official Antifa. Okay. uh, just like, I mean, I'm sure you guys have all been to the official Antifa headquarters where we all go to get our badges, because that's what Antifa is about. It's almost as if they have no idea about anything about us. Like they really believe they're straw men completely. Um, yeah, the super soldier serum that kicks ass. It's like, oh god. Anyway, I mean that's so we've gone over a lot of things now today, and honestly, I had fun. So, like, not that I wasn't expecting to have fun, but I don't know. I like doing this. I think that we should all do this together more often. What do you guys think? I don't know. It's like, don't go, I just got here. I have, look, I have taught people about Martin Luther King, the American Revolution. I can't help it, Adam. You're just going to have to go back. Yeah. So I can't do a lot more today, but I will try to be back next week. And, for those people who are on my Patreon, I was sort of putting it out there that it would be cool if like we had like like maybe the last one of the month could be a Patreon thing. And so it wouldn't just be me talking all the time, but oh, I like it. So thank you guys for stopping by, and I hope you had as much fun as I did. And yeah, and I will hang out with you again next week, hopefully. Knock on wood. So cool. I'm really good at signing off. Can you tell? It's awesome. Bye, everybody.